threading the Bernina sewing machine, the 1008 model. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is take the bobbin. You need some thread, using a dark thread so that we'll be able to see it against the white. The thread goes onto the spool, like such. The bobbin sits on this little stem and you push it right down until it can't go down any further. What happens then is we take the thread over to this little mushroom on the left-hand side of the machine, and on the top there are two arrows which are pointing in a clockwise direction, and that's the direction it wants us to place the thread. So we come around from the front of the machine in a clockwise direction, around the back, bring the excess thread, bring the tail around the back of the bobbin, and hand wind tightly what you have left in your hand. Like so. What we need to do then is engage the bobbin. So we need to click the bobbin to the right, that engages it. We also need to stop the bobbin, the needle from going up and down, which can damage the machine. So we need to loosen what's called the clutch, and the clutch sits inside the flywheel on the side of the machine. In order to do that, you hang onto the flywheel with one hand and you turn towards the front of the machine, the clutch, until it's loose. When you turn the machine back again, what you'll find is the needle doesn't go up and down, it's been disengaged. Then it's just a case of gently putting your foot on the pedal, starting slowly until the thread catches, and once it's caught you can speed it up to whatever speed you're comfortable with. Now you can put as little or as much thread on as you like. I'm just going to put a little bit on, so I'll stop there. I need to do everything in reverse order again, so I need to tighten the clutch, retighten the clutch, holding the flywheel and turning the clutch towards the back of the machine, just so it's firm, not so it's really tight. Check that the needle will then go up and down again, which it will. Disengage the bobbin, cut the thread, take the bobbin off the stem, take the thread off the spool. So now we're going to thread the top of the Bernina sewing machine, and the beauty of this machine is it's really easy to thread, and you always thread from right to left on the sewing machine. So we take the thread from the spool on the right hand side of the machine, we bring it around straight through to this hook that's sitting here at the back. Everything's a series of hooks, so it's really easy. Take it through, brings it automatically through to the front here. The next available hook heading towards the left is down here, hook it straight up. Sometimes we need to manoeuvre this next hook into a correct position. And what we do is we once again thread from right to left, and the last hook on the sewing machine, front of the sewing machine, is at the top of the needle. Just here, we need to bring the thread just around, hook it through, so the thread's sitting at the front of the needle. Just before we thread the needle, we need to do one little thing. We need to take the scissors and cut the end of the thread so it's a nice blunt end. This makes it easier for it to go through the eye of the needle. Then what you need to do is make sure that the needle is in its highest possible position. It won't go up any higher, and it will start coming down if you continue to wind the wheel. This makes it easier for access to the eye of the needle. Then hold the thread about 1 centimetre from the end of the thread. I also find it easier at this point to place my finger behind the needle, behind the eye of the needle, and that means I can see the pink of my finger through the eye of the needle, makes it a little bit easier to aim. At this point, always make sure that your foot is away from the pedal, otherwise there will be an accident. So we take our thread, aim towards the eye of the needle, push it through from front to back, and then what I do is just push it slightly to the side at the back of the thread, at the back of the needle, and pull the thread through. So the thread's sitting down the front of the needle, not twisted around. And that's the top of the machine threaded. Okay, the final part of threading the sewing machine is where we place the bobbin inside the Bernina bobbin case, and both of them together go in underneath the sewing machine. This allows the bottom thread and the top thread to join together to make a stitch. So what we do is we take the bobbin and the bobbin case, you just drop the bobbin into the bobbin case. On the side of the bobbin case there is a split, the thread needs to go into that split. Then turn your bobbin case to the side and you'll notice there's a brass plate here with what I call the crab claws at the base. Squeeze the thread under the brass plate so it's sitting between the crab claws. What that is the bottom thread tension. It feeds the thread through at a certain rate, so it's very important. What we need to do now is place the bobbin and the bobbin case inside the sewing machine. And in order to do that, we need to hold the bobbin case so that the extending arm is facing upwards and that the handle of the bobbin case is facing horizontally, is lying horizontally. So what we need to do is tilt the machine back, and in the machine you can see there's a hole in the top of where the bobbin case will be sitting. That's where the extending arm sits. So what we need to do is push the bobbin case into the machine, so the extending arm sitting in the hole, and push until you hear it click. If it doesn't click, it's not in properly. To remove the bobbin case from the machine, you very gently pull the arm, the horizontal arm of the bobbin case, and it will lift the bobbin and the bobbin case out together. So I'll just go through that again. If you just place the extending arm in line with the hole in the top of the bobbin case area, click. When it's clicked, we need to close the door and leave the thread sitting in the little half moon here. Our final task is to bring that bottom thread up through the hole directly underneath the needle. That's so that the threads can join together to make a stitch, and this is the tricky part. What we need to do here is, it's like rubbing our tummy and patting our heads at the same time. You need to hang on to the top thread in your left hand. You need to wind the flywheel on the side of the machine towards you, at the same time pulling the thread, winding and pulling, and at the same time watching this thread here that's sitting in the half moon door. When this starts to move, you need to stop winding and pull the top thread up, and what you'll find is it will pull the bottom thread up through the hole in the plate. And both threads sit together underneath the presser foot towards the back of the sewing machine.